Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name is Bob, and I'll be your host. This is the second video of my look at Dungeons & Dragons 3rd Edition. In the first video, I compared the Player's Handbook, the 3rd Edition Player's Handbook, a little bit with the 3.5 Player's Handbook. But the Player's Handbook is the only 3.5 book I have, so I won't be making a comparison with the other books in this video. So let's get started. To play this game, you will need a copy of all 3 core rulebooks, which consist of the Player's Handbook, which we talked about in the last video, the Dungeon Master's Guide, which we'll be talking about in this video, and the Monster Manual, which we will also be talking about in this video. You will also need a full set of dice, which consist of a 20-sided die, a 12-sided die, preferably 2 10-sided dice for rolling both percentiles and tens, an 8-sided die, a 6-sided die, and a 4-sided die. So let's get started with the Dungeon Master's Guide. The Dungeon Master's Guide has 256 pages and a copyright of 2000. It was published by Wizards of the Coast. The artwork in this book has both black and white and color pictures in it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that artwork now. Like the Player's Handbook, there are no full-page color photos in this book like could be found in previous editions. The color photos are pretty well done, however. Like the Player's Handbook, most of them crop up in the middle of the page amongst the words in the book. There are a few black and white pictures in this, most of which are used to show pictures of items in the book. But that's not to say that there aren't a few regular black and white pictures to be found. This book contains everything any aspiring dungeon master will want to know for running Dungeons & Dragons. It has information in the start of the book pertaining mostly to the characters, which starts off with of course the options for generating attributes and abilities. It has a section in here on altering the existing races that your characters have to choose from and allowing them to play certain creatures found in the Monster's Handbook as player characters, and some rules on creating your own races for your game. It has a section in here on altering existing classes to fit your game and creating brand new classes for your game. It gives you options, a new option for your player characters, which is called the Prestige class. The Prestige class works for the players just like multi-classing would. When they gain a new level, instead of choosing a new level in the same class or a new class, they can take a Prestige class as long as they meet the requirements for that Prestige class. The Prestige classes are the Arcane Archer, the Assassin, the Blackguard, the Dwarven Defender, the Lore Master, and the Shadow Dancer. It also gives you rules for creating your own Prestige classes for your game. There is also, after that, a variant for multi-classing, which allows your player characters to choose 2 classes at first level. One of those classes must be a favored class of their race. Once they gain their first level, they must choose which of those 2 classes will be raised. And after that, it works just like regular multi-classing. Then we get into some NPC stuff, which this book provides you some classes for the NPCs in your game, which are the Adept, the Aristocrat, the Commoner, the Expert, and the Warrior. It also gives you information on how to use regular character classes for NPCs. After that, it gets into rule information on how to deal with different aspects of the game. It goes over combat a little bit, covering a couple of things that was in the player's handbook, but giving you examples of how to deal with unexpected happenings that may occur during combat. It then goes in to how to build adventures for your players. Dungeons and wilderness encounters, that kind of thing. Gives you charts on wandering monsters, and just how to build traps, anything you'd want to put into your adventures. There is a sample dungeon in here, which they fill the first couple of rooms for you, but then after that, it's all up to you. After that, they get into campaign building, and they go over how to build campaign to suit your needs. If you're not into that, you could always buy a pre-done campaign like Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms or some other published item. But they go through how to build your own campaign, which is pretty good. I've built lots of them. And it's pretty detailed how to do your NPCs in your campaign and everything, how they react to your players. There is a section after that for world building, so you can put your campaign on whatever world you want. And it has a lot more information there. There is information in that section. If you wanted to go so far, you could put in Renaissance weapons such as muskets and stuff, if that could be considered Renaissance, but it's there. There is Asian weapons, katanas and such. After that, they also have modern weapons. If you wanted to put your campaign setting in a modern era or in a post-apocalyptic fantasy setting, you have modern weapons, automatic pistols, shotguns, rocket launchers, that kind of thing. And if you wanted to even add a sci-fi element, they have futuristic weapons, laser pistols, laser rifles, the whole thing. After that, they have a very good section on rewards for your players. Experience, how to reward them for different encounters and so forth, so they can gain levels. There is a really good section on building a treasure with a really detailed chart, and it's very good, very easy to use. There is a section after that for magic items and artifacts that your characters might run into in their adventuring. After all that, there is an appendix in the back of the book filled with charts so you can quickly reference them, like equipment and how much the equipment costs, weapons and their damage, and other stuff, so you don't have to flip back and forth through a couple of books to find it. It's all right there. This book has everything you'll need to build adventures and run games. So let's go ahead now, take a look at the Monster Manual. The Monster Manual has 224 pages and a copyright of 2000. It was also published by Wizards of the Coast. The artwork in this book is all in full color, and every creature, aside from like animals and vermin, have their own picture to give you a look at what that creature looks like. So let's take a look at that artwork now. Every monster in this book gets its own color picture to show what the monster looks like. I have selected a small assortment of monsters to show some of the art in this book. Like the other two books, most of the pictures pop up in the middle of the written words in this book. The monsters in this book are laid out pretty nice, lots of details for them. Some of them, if you wish to use them as player character races, they give you a little paragraph on stuff like favorite classes and such. This book has a large assortment of monsters for your characters to encounter in the game, but there are lots more beyond this. There are more books with more monsters, but this is a good source to have. There are 3 appendixes in the back of this book. The first appendix is on normal animals like horses, dogs, cats, bears, that kind of thing. The second appendix is on vermin, which mostly centers around insects and other small creatures like that. The final appendix in this book is templates. Stuff like vampires, lycanthropes, half-dragons. These templates can be placed over normal creatures such as humans, goblins, dwarves, whatever, and gives them new abilities and powers for your players to deal with. You can even use them, if you wanted, for your player characters if the game master really wanted to. Like the previous editions, you could run the game without this book, and all of your encounters would be with other humans, elves, dwarves, and so forth. But why? Really? It's a fantasy game. You'll want these monsters. You'll want this book for your game. But all in all, it has a very good assortment of creatures for your players to encounter. So it brings me to 3 questions. Would I play a character in this game? And yes, I would. I cut my teeth in 2nd edition, but I really like 3rd edition. 3rd edition has a lot of options, has a lot going for it. I would definitely play a character in this game. Would I run this game as a dungeon master? Yes, I would. I've had lots of experience running this game as a dungeon master, and I would run it again in a heartbeat. Would I recommend this game? Yes, if you haven't played 3rd edition, you should check it out. It really is a good edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And that's really all I have to say about Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition right now that I can think of. Thank you for joining me on this quick look at Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition. Hopefully you'll join me for the next video where we'll talk about something else. Bye.